Hello everyone and welcome back to Is That Brandon's TikTok account. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a review to I'm a Celebrity 2025 episode 12. So at the beginning of the episode, Ruby explained that she was the fire person and she didn't want Alex and Kelly to replace her. And Alex said that they're not replacing her, that she is there with them, but obviously, they got up a little bit earlier than she did, so that's why they just got straight on with it. Jack explained it was nice to have a quiet camp with Ginge, with him saying that Ginge probably needed this because he's obviously probably a little bit burnt out. Vogue explained that she felt like Doomsville would be coming for them today and she's absolutely ready to obviously fight back. In Doomsville, Martin explained he was trying his hardest to get out of this place and questioning what is fatigue, with Kelly explaining she had a sleep and a food deprivation, so obviously they're not getting good food and obviously they're not really getting good sleep either. H said that it takes strong people to be in that camp, and he's around 5 strong people who don't need motivating. Eddie helped Jack have a manual shower. Kelly questioned to Vogue what she was going to be eating, and yeah, Vogue said it was venison, with Kelly saying that she was obviously a little bit shocked, because I think at this point, this was just after it was revealed that they were obviously going to be going to their different camps. So I think they had the evenings together, and they were obviously just telling them what they had in win camp and what they had in the losing camp. So yeah, Ruby also said to Jack that she said Tom felt like a little bit worn out, but she doesn't feel guilty because, the game is the game, the winners won and the losers obviously lost. Back in Win City, Alex said that having H against Ginge is a good pairing because they're both very competitive. Ginge explained that he's not going to destroy a friend, he's going to destroy a rival. And the next trial was going to be called... the next trial was going to be escaping from a pit by unlocking and finding keys. And H and Ginge were obviously able to sabotage each other by pressing the red button. So this was just man on man. So H from the losing team and Ginge from the winning team. And basically, yeah, it was a box and they had to find keys. And if they were to sabotage the other person, they'd be in the dark for 10 seconds. No lights, they wouldn't be able to see. They had crickets, cockroaches and offal with them. And I think within the first couple of minutes, the sabotage button went off. It was like the sound. H pressed it and Ginger was a bit like, what? I got there first. And then H was just like, I'm too quick for you, brother. And then, yeah, basically every time the sabotage button went off, H seemed to be getting it. Ginger seemed to be getting more angry. So, not only was he in 10 seconds of darkness, he was probably also in about 5 minutes of anger. So, yeah, he was kind of stressing himself out and obviously not using that sabotage button to his ability. It was kind of just, to his more disadvantage. H explained that he's obviously bringing the Scran back. And Ginge explained that he obviously lost some sort of composure, and this is the first time that he was obviously coming back to camp with bad news, and it kind of, in terms of him against H in battles, it was 1v1. Alex said it was a double blow for Ginge. He obviously lost to H, and also it was beans for dinner. In Doomsville, Tom explained that H still took a winner's stride when he walked back in. H spoke about a time where he was proposed to by a fan at a meet and greet. And Kelly explained that the younger generation obviously want to try and find their person. They're scared of dating and, with Kelly, she's obviously scared about her previous relationships, wondering that, if she moves on to her next person, are they going to question her about her ex-relationships or her ex-partners or weddings or whatever? Martin explained that his wife, Shirley, took him to a ring shop and kind of just said, yeah, I really like that ring. And then I think so many weeks later, he's obviously gone in and bought the ring. So it's kind of, she was given hints, basically. Shona explained to Tom that she felt like she couldn't really be part of that conversation because before she came into the jungle, she actually had just broken up with her fiancé. So I guess it was more of a difficult topic for her because she's just come out of a relationship, whereas everyone else is talking about getting into relationships and finding someone new and finding that love, and she's probably just lost the love of her life or whatever happened, in her life, because that's the thing. Famous people and celebrities still deal with grief as well. They obviously just deal it in a different way, or probably deal with it offline. Kelly explained that when she had got married, that because her husband is Italian, they needed a translator, so she could obviously understand all the beautiful things that he was saying in Italian. Back in Wednesday camp, Vogue explained that she's never going to live, things down. Ruby explained that she used to stalk men at school, so she used to hide behind pillars and she was scared to talk to them, but she was still able to kind of look out for them. And Ruby explained that in a sex education lesson, they would be learning about Mickey and Minnie having mouse sex, and she thought that, you know, it was only animals that were able to do that, and then when she realised it was humans as well, she obviously thought that was a bit strange. We found out that in this episode, episode 12, there were going to be a live trial in 15 minutes. There were going to be 6 winners who were going to be immune from the first vote off, and then, yeah, obviously the other 6 would be up for nomination to go. In terms of the challenges, so obviously they were playing the games at the same time, but each camp wasn't able to see how the other camp were getting on. They were just doing it as their little group of 6. So the first pairing was obviously Alex and Shona. They played Buzzwire, and it was Shona from Doomsville who won that. Next was Ruby and Tom. So that was basically a building blocks game. They had to build blocks on top of each other. It was Tom that won that, so that's 2-0 to Doomsville. Game number 3 was called Perfect Balance. So Jack and Eddie had to put these tiny little silver balls on the tiny little circles and obviously not make them fall off. Jack absolutely smashed that, so it was still 2-1 to Doomsville. Up next was Vogue and Kelly. They had the coloured wire. They had 4 or 5 different colours, and they had to basically put it in a sort of order. I'm not sure what the actual order of it was. I think it was more alphabetical order of the colours. So B is blue, that's closest to the beginning of the alphabet. O is orange, that's probably a little bit further along. So yeah, I think it was in alphabetical order. The 5th mini game was obviously Ginge and H. They basically had to do a game of Word Watch, which is almost like a word search game, and there was just like two words that would obviously work well together. So like, I don't know, motorsport. So or bathroom. So they had to just make a lot of those pairings together, and H won that one. So obviously Vogue won the previous one, H won that one. So that at the moment was a total of 3-2 to Doomsville. And finally it was Lisa against Martin for a game called Perfect Timing. They had to basically drop a ball in a little truck. Lisa won that one. So it was actually 3-3 in the end. At Doomsville, Tom said he doesn't really mind what dinner is, and we found out that for their dinner was buffalo ribs, vegetables and garlic. And in Winsville, is it called Winsville? Win City, Ruby explained that she's all riced out, with Vogue saying that they have to obviously win tomorrow's game. So for the next rival battle, these battles were live, and Kelly explained she wasn't ready for the experience to end, with Ginge saying that he thinks everyone in the Win City group is safe, but obviously he's not sure. Whoever was to win the challenge would obviously win a meal for themselves and also immunity from being eliminated from the show. And the game was called Cocktails of Cruelty, and they were able to pick 2 ingredients that their rival was going to obviously drink, blended, mixed together. So up first was Jack and Eddie. Eddie decided that Jack was going to drink vomit fruit and beachworms, and Jack said that Eddie was going to drink cockroaches and sheep's brain. Eddie won that one, nice and easy. Up next was Alex and Shona. So Alex decided for Shona to have giant mealworms and fermented fish, and Shona said that Alex was going to have sheep's brain and a goat testicle, and it was Shona that won that one. Bit of a difficult one between the two of them because I think they were both kind of dropping a lot of the drink, but VAR said that Shona won that one. Up next was Ginge and H. So H decided for Ginge to have camel bum and a goat testicle, with Ginge saying H was going to have beachworms and a pig's nose. Again, VAR basically showed that both of them spilled too much, and even though Ginge did manage to finish the rest of his drink, he ended up spilling half of that as well. So yeah, neither of them won, so they both were up for eviction. I don't think either of them were going to go anyway, but you know, is what it is. Lisa and Martin were up next. So Lisa said that Martin was going to have fish eyes and fermented fish, and Martin said that for Lisa it was vomit fruit and fermented duck egg. Lisa absolutely smashed that one. Within not even 3 seconds she drunk all that. Vogue and Kelly. So Kelly said Vogue was going to have fish eyes and fermented fish as well, and Vogue said for Kelly it was going to be a bull's penis and a pig's vagina. So she had all the body parts there. She didn't manage to do it, and it was Vogue that won that one, again very quick. And finally, Ruby and Tom. Ruby said that Tom was going to have a pig vagina, fermented duck egg, and Tom said that Ruby was going to have a sheep's brain and a camel bum. So they were obviously basically joking around because, you know, Tom's obviously gay, but he ended up eating all female parts, and then Ruby ended up having all the male parts. And we also found out that there was going to be another trial for those losers called The Cave, where they were going to be involved with spiders and cockroaches to obviously, one, win their star for camp, and also to probably prove to the public that they needed to obviously remain in camp. So yeah, so Jack, Alex, Ginge, H, Martin, Kelly and Ruby at this point were going to take part in that challenge. but there was only 6 spaces, so who of the 7 was not going to take part in the cave challenge? Find out in episode 13, and that's my review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.